Good morning, everyone. We are back in business today. All technical issues have been solved. So I'm excited to actually get started painting with you all. Hopefully you were able to access the first 4 videos. We went through all of the different techniques that we can use, and now we are ready. This is for period 6. We are ready to start painting because I planned everything out. I know what techniques I'm using, and the first one I'm going to use here, obviously I'm going to start painting in the background, and I know I'm going to use a graded wash because it goes from this dark, dusty, dull blue to a dull orange down here, which is almost into a blue violet again. And we know that the opposite of blue is indeed orange, so it should be no problem getting some of these grays in here. I am going to paint all this first, and I'm going to paint the horizon. The sky is going to be horizontal. There's my horizon line. I stop there, and I'm going to stop around all of these objects. I don't necessarily want to make this a coloring project, but there is another technique I want to use, which is this one, the wax resist, because I know I'm going to be painting across this entire surface. I don't want to get this bright orange. I don't want to make it any darker with the blue paint, so I am going to use the wax resist. And also my little moon up here is kind of a yellow orange, so I'm going to grab my crayon. I already have everything drawn out, and it is kind of like a yellow orange right there. I'd say there's some gray in it right here around the edge. And then I'm going to continue on with some of that yellow orange over into here, pushing hard to make sure it covers the surface. And there is my moon in the sky. Next, I see this color right here up on this pole. So I grab my ruler, or if you don't have your ruler at home, you can use like the side of an envelope, fold up a piece of paper. Lots of different modifications you can make. So here is this line. It comes all the way up, and it does kind of change colors. So what happened to my yellow orange? I can use this guy here. And there it changes color. I can move my ruler over so that it's touching the paper. Okay, that is done. So I'm ready to paint. Let's mix some colors. I've got my wax resist on here. The other wax resist I used was right here. You can't see it. I used a little bit of white crayon, and I put this white line right there. I could also save some of the white on the boat, the top of it right there. And here we go. So I know this, I'm gonna pre-mix all my colors. I'm gonna grab my blue. There was my yellow orange the whole time it was hiding. Now, obviously this blue is the brightest blue it's going to be, and I know that that's way too bright, so I need to dull it out, which means I'm going to go and grab some orange here. See how that mixes together and makes this nice dull blue. I'm probably going to add a smidge of black in there because it is so dark, but don't forget to dull it out. Oh, that's great. Let's grab some more. I did grab a little bit of that blue-green down here, the turquoise, and I'm gonna work on that, and that's a lovely, there's the color I'm looking for right there. I'm gonna squeeze the rest of it out of my brush. Notice I grabbed a large brush because I'm working on a large area right here. The other thing I'm gonna do is I forgot to do these little guys back here. Here's my oranges over here. I forgot this little one and these little guys, because I'm going to go over this, and I don't want those to get too dark too fast. My next colors I need to mix is a nice orange for my sunset, and maybe there's a smidge of red in that orange. Here's my yellow orange, because this is it's a graded wash. It has a gradual change, some red orange. All right, I think I'm ready to go. I'm going to clean my brush out. And we know that graded washes do start with a nice clean water, only where I want the paint to go. And my water has become a little tinted, and that's okay. I'm gonna grab this nice dark deep blue up here. Not gonna mess around with the surface too much. And look at how that crayon just resists right there. And today we're only going to work on the background because we want this to dry before we move on to other shapes. Now it's getting into this, maybe a little more, I'm afraid to use yellow. Why do you think I'm afraid to use yellow and right next to my blue? Do you see any green in here? No. So had I used that yellow, what would have happened is I would have gotten some green tints in there, and I don't want to do that. And this comes all the way down to my boat. And remember, it is a sky, so I am going to make sure I am painting horizontally with the sky. Well, gosh darn it. And there is a little curve here, right up into here. So I am going to come around with a curve. You don't want to go over this too much, and maybe I want to brighten it up down here a little bit with some more of a reddish tone. And I want to work on this while it's all wet so that I do get that, remember the wet on wet whoosh effect? I want these colors to blend. So once you start, you don't stop. Down here, there is a little blue violet. That was a strong blue violet. I'm going to mix that in with my blue down here. So I'm going to get some of this color down in here and let that blend in. Rinse my brush, dry it off. And I'm going to go back and try to mix some more of that blue up here in the sky. And I remember that was blue, blue violet, some black to make it nice and deep and dark. And I'm going to go over this. There we go. Look at that nice rich color we've got going on. I do want more water. And it does kind of come along here. And then add more clean water so it all blends. I'm not rubbing hard at all because I don't want to pill up that surface. Grab some clean water just to make sure that this blends. This is a little bright in here, so I'm going to come back over and hopefully dull that out. Maybe, remember our echoing video? I want to bring some of this bluish down here so that the color is echoed throughout. But so far, I think, so far so good. Okay. I'm going to call that done. Now I'm going to come down and do the lower part of the background, the water here. And this water, remember, I'm pre-wetting my surface so that we do get indeed get that whoosh effect. Just come around that boat there. And then I'm going to grab that red orange right underneath here. All I'm trying to do is apply colors where I see them, and here's that more dull. Let that blend in. And then there's that bright blue all the way down into the foreground down here. I am going to grab some more blue, mix that in there. You know what, maybe if I don't keep this painting, maybe one of the viewers can have it. If I kept all of my paintings, I'd have so many. I don't have enough wall space in my house. So there we have it. And I do want to get it deeper, darker down here in that foreground. And I want to echo the color that's up here. So let's see if we can make that. Yeah, look at that nice, rich blue-green. Well, isn't this spectacular? Don't be afraid. It's just watercolor. You can go back and fix things. But there's nothing really to fix. I am going to rinse out because I do want to get some more, excuse me, orange up in here. So I'm going to grab my other brush so I have a little more control over it and come back with this orange, mix it in my palette, my plate over here. It is a smidge dull, so I am going to dull it out just a bit. There we go. And remember, my surface is still wet. If it wasn't wet, I would get a wet on dry look, and I don't want any sharp lines like this right now. I want everything to be blended. Let's go with a little red orange in here. Let's see if we can brighten that up. There we go. grab some clean water right away. Make sure this is blending out. There's my little mountain there. It's not really a mountain, it's some marsh. It's like marsh. I'm looking at this color particularly in here, and maybe there is just a smidge of yellow in there. Because I keep looking at it and I'm going, yeah, maybe there is. So I don't think it's gonna kill anything if we, yeah, there we go. It's got that light green tone. Okay. And then again, I'm gonna bring this all the way down to blend it in. You may or may not have a blended background. I don't know, I don't see your original image. And then we'll work on some of the watermarks later, but for now, I think I have my first layer complete. I'm gonna let this dry, and then tomorrow what we'll do is we'll move forward with, you know I want this to be more orangey in here, don't you? Let's try this. This is risky. This is risky. I'm overworking. I could be overworking. I don't know. We'll find out, won't we? There, and over into here. And so that this doesn't create this hard line right here that I don't want, I'm gonna lift this and I'm going to let it run with, there we go. Now this effect is also like a drip. I'm not a big fan of the drip. All I'm trying to do is control the blend right here. There we go. Ta-da. All right, so now that this, I like that I added that brighter color in there. I'm gonna let this dry. So we are done with today's lesson. And if you can all figure out what techniques you're going to use as you look at your images for your background, and make sure if you're gonna use this wax resist at all, do that first, and then we'll get into some other details later. But right now, we're good to go. Yeah, good luck, and make sure to send me some photos of your work, and I can help critique from email images. And remember, when you send a picture, make sure to have the original one next to it, please. All right, thanks so much. We'll see you tomorrow.